Some of these conspiracies are wild, unsettling, and highly speculative. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. Kerguelen horse tracks describes the discovery of fossilized equine hoof prints found on the remote Kerguelen Islands in 2017, despite no horses ever being documented on these sub-Antarctic islands. The tracks, dated to approximately 2,000 years ago, show evidence of horseshoes and distinct breeding patterns consistent with domesticated horses. Marine geological surveys revealed the islands were significantly larger during the time period of the tracks, with land bridges potentially connecting to other continental masses. Ancient Tamil maritime texts mention a northern kingdom that maintained horse breeding grounds on islands that match the geographical description and position of the Kerguelen archipelago. Archaeological excavations near the tracks uncovered iron fragments matching the metallurgical composition of ancient Indian horseshoes. Genetic analysis of soil samples from the track sites contains traces of DNA from an unknown equine species that shows markers of both domestication and cold weather adaptation. Wind pattern analysis suggests the existence of natural sailing routes between India and the Kerguelen Islands during the classical period, making regular maritime contact possible. The Carmel area creature refers to a bipedal entity repeatedly observed in California's Monterey Peninsula between 2019 and 2021, documented through thermal imaging and sonar readings by local marine research stations. Multiple unrelated witnesses reported encounters with a 9-foot-tall humanoid figure emerging from coastal waters, leaving behind unusual tracks showing webbed impressions and radioactive isotopes not naturally occurring in the area. Underwater mapping surveys revealed a network of previously undocumented submarine caves containing structures with geometric patterns inconsistent with natural formation processes. Audio recordings from automated marine monitoring stations captured complex vocalizations matching no known marine species, occurring in regular patterns suggesting intelligent communication. Deep-sea cameras photographed large, organized formations of bioluminescent material near the cave entrances, displaying movement patterns that indicated deliberate placement rather than natural growth. Military sonar operators logged multiple instances of fast-moving objects in nearby waters reaching speeds of 70 knots, far exceeding the capabilities of known marine life or human submersibles. Saxemburg Island refers to a landmass reportedly discovered in the South Atlantic Ocean in 1670 by Dutch sailors, but which has never been conclusively located despite multiple expeditions throughout history. Navy records from the 18th century contain detailed descriptions of the island, including specific coordinates, coastal features, and reports of freshwater sources that match no known location. Multiple ship captains independently documented anchoring at the island between 1670 and 1890, providing consistent descriptions of its size, geological features, and unique bird species. Bathymetric surveys from 2015 revealed an underwater plateau at the reported coordinates that rises to just 100 meters below sea level, suggesting potential historical submergence. Satellite gravity anomaly data shows a mass concentration in the area consistent with a submerged landmass of the reported size. Historical climate records indicate sea level changes in the South Atlantic that could have submerged a low-lying island during the past 2 centuries. Sediment cores from the region contain terrestrial plant materials dating to periods when the island was reportedly visible above water. Flashlight Frogs describes a series of amphibian sightings in Papua New Guinea during 2018, where witnesses documented frogs emitting intense, focused beams of blue-white light from specialized organs in their heads. Local biologists collected tissue samples showing unusual crystalline structures capable of focusing and amplifying bioluminescent reactions beyond any known natural example. Spectral analysis of the light emissions matched the wavelength and intensity of modern LED technology, despite coming from organic tissue. DNA sequencing revealed genetic markers for previously unknown light-producing proteins that show signs of artificial modification. Video footage captured by research teams shows the frogs using these light beams to hunt insects and navigate in complete darkness, exhibiting precise control over the beam's intensity and direction. The frog's habitat contains high concentrations of rare earth elements typically used in modern optical technology, suggesting a potential influence on their unusual evolution. The Lone Pine Mountain Devil refers to an unidentified creature reportedly seen in California's eastern Sierra region since the 19th century, first documented by settlers in the Owens Valley near the town of Lone Pine. Local ranchers in the 1870s described encounters with a 4-foot-tall bipedal being covered in dark fur, with large bat-like wings and glowing red eyes, often spotted circling their livestock at night. Multiple cases of mutilated cattle were attributed to the creature, with peculiar claw marks and precise surgical-like incisions found on the carcasses that didn't match known predator attack patterns. Native American petroglyphs discovered in the nearby Alabama hills appear to depict a similar winged humanoid figure, suggesting awareness of the entity predated European settlement of the area. In 1967, a local photographer captured a series of blurry images showing a dark, airborne shape with an estimated wingspan of 12 feet, though the photos remain controversial among researchers. Wildlife biologists point to the region's unique geological features, creating wind patterns that could explain reported screaming sounds, while also noting the area sits along a major migratory route for several large bird species. Recent thermal imaging footage from 2012 shows an unexplained heat signature moving rapidly between mountain peaks, displaying flight characteristics that don't align with known local wildlife. The Neanderthal superpredator hypothesis suggests that early Homo sapiens did not simply outcompete Neanderthals, but were actively hunted by them as prey, supported by archaeological evidence of human bones showing distinct crushing patterns matching Neanderthal jaw strength. Fossilized human remains discovered in several European caves display systematic butchering marks consistent with Neanderthal stone tools, suggesting organized hunting behavior rather than random conflict or scavenging. Analysis of Neanderthal bone structure reveals they possessed significantly greater upper body strength than modern humans, with muscle attachment points indicating capabilities for powerful grabbing and subduing of large prey. Chemical analysis of Neanderthal teeth has shown evidence of human meat consumption through specific isotope markers, while some cave sites contain collections of modified human skulls arranged in patterns similar to other Neanderthal hunting trophies. Genetic studies indicate modern humans experienced a population bottleneck around 50,000 years ago, coinciding with peak Neanderthal presence in Europe, potentially explaining why small bands of humans were forced to develop advanced weapons and social cooperation. Cave paintings dating to this period show unusually large, robust humanoid figures pursuing smaller, more gracile ones, potentially representing Neanderthal hunting parties targeting human groups. Photon crystals represent a unique form of matter, where light particles appear to gain mass and form crystal-like structures, observed in specialized laboratory conditions using ultra-cooled atoms and precisely controlled laser systems. Scientists at MIT discovered that when multiple photons interact within a specialized medium, they can bind together and behave as though they have mass, defying conventional understanding of light particles as massless. The crystals demonstrate properties similar to both light and solid matter, including the ability to refract and reflect while simultaneously maintaining rigid structural patterns typically only seen in physical crystals. Experiments in 2018 showed these photon structures could store and process quantum information, suggesting potential applications in quantum computing and secure communications. The formation occurs through a process called Rydberg blockade, where photons become strongly correlated and exhibit collective behavior, creating repeating patterns that mirror atomic crystal structures. Measurements indicate these photon crystals can maintain their structure for microseconds, an extremely long time in quantum physics, pointing to a previously unknown state of light-matter interaction. Xia represents the first ruling dynasty of ancient China, lasting from around 2100 BCE to 1600 BCE. with archaeological evidence suggesting advanced bronze metallurgy and sophisticated irrigation systems previously thought impossible for that era. Recent excavations at Erlitou in Henan province revealed a massive palatial complex with bronze foundries capable of mass-producing ritual vessels, indicating technological capabilities far beyond contemporary civilizations. DNA analysis of human remains from Xia-era sites shows genetic continuity with modern Chinese populations, supporting traditional accounts of the dynasty's role in founding Chinese civilization. Ancient astronomical records describing a solar eclipse align with modern calculations for an event in 1900 BCE, matching Chinese historical texts about the Xia period. Geological studies confirm historical accounts of the Great Flood during the Xia period, with evidence of massive flooding along the Yellow River around 1920 BCE. Advanced mathematical knowledge displayed in Xia-era architecture suggests they possessed sophisticated understanding of geometry and structural engineering, including the use of the Pythagorean theorem before its documented discovery in Greece. The northern spoonbill refers to an undocumented aquatic creature reportedly dwelling in the cold waters of northern Canada and Alaska, described by indigenous peoples and early fur traders as a massive fish with an elongated spoon-shaped bill similar to that of a spoonbill bird. First Nations oral histories dating back centuries describe encounters with this creature, which they say could grow to lengths of 15 to 20 feet, and used its distinctive bill to scoop up entire schools of smaller fish in a single motion. Multiple sightings by Hudson's Bay Company traders in the 18th century describe a creature matching this description, with one account noting how it could break through ice up to 2 feet thick with its reinforced bill to access fish below. Some marine biologists suggest these accounts might describe a previously unknown species of sturgeon that developed specialized feeding adaptations for Arctic conditions, pointing to the discovery of unusually large, spoon-shaped fossil fragments found in northern Canadian riverbeds. Several indigenous communities maintain detailed knowledge of the creature's supposed hunting patterns, describing how it creates distinctive whirlpool formations to concentrate prey before scooping them up, a behavior that matches documented feeding strategies of other large aquatic predators. The Griggstown cow is a mysterious bovine creature allegedly inhabiting the forests and farmlands surrounding Griggstown, New Jersey, with multiple sightings reporting a cow of enormous proportions standing 12 to 15 feet tall at the shoulder. Local farmers in the 19th century documented encounters with the creature, describing it as having an unusually long neck, dark red fur, and the ability to move silently despite its massive size. Historical records from the area mention the disappearance of several cattle in 1887, with investigators finding massive, deep hoof prints measuring 3 feet in diameter near the Delaware and Raritan Canal. The creature has been linked to Native American petroglyphs found in the region depicting an unusually large horned animal that early settlers initially dismissed as artistic exaggeration. Agricultural records from nearby farms in the 1800s show unexplained instances of entire fields of corn being consumed overnight, with distinct bite patterns suggesting a single large grazer rather than a herd. Local folklore connects the creature to a series of underground caves and tunnels beneath Griggstown, where unusual bellowing sounds have been reported echoing through the village on quiet nights. Magnetism Spirits refers to the theory that certain paranormal entities are composed of or controlled by magnetic energy, explaining their ability to manipulate electronic devices and create electromagnetic field fluctuations during supernatural encounters. Research conducted in the 1970s by parapsychologist William Roll documented cases where reported spirit activity coincided with significant spikes in electromagnetic readings, particularly in locations with high concentrations of naturally occurring magnetic minerals. Multiple ghost hunting organizations have recorded consistent patterns of magnetic anomalies during suspected paranormal events, with readings showing variations of 2 to 5 milligauss above normal background levels. Ancient Chinese texts describe spirits that could be detected through the use of lodestone compasses, with several Taoist practitioners documenting methods for communicating with these entities through magnetic meditation techniques. Some investigators have noted that locations with reported paranormal activity often sit above underground water sources or geological formations containing magnetite, suggesting a possible connection between natural magnetic fields and spirit manifestations. Modern electromagnetic field meters used in paranormal research frequently detect unexplained magnetic fluctuations that follow seemingly intelligent patterns, responding to verbal commands or questions with measurable changes in field strength. The Moha-Moha is a peculiar sea creature reportedly observed off the coast of Queensland, Australia in 1890, described as having characteristics of both a turtle and a fish, with a body length of 30 to 40 feet. The first documented sighting was made by schoolteacher Selina Lovell, who provided detailed sketches showing the creature with a turtle-like head, fish-like tail, and an unusual ability to extend its neck several feet above the water. Physical evidence collected near the sighting location included large, unidentifiable scales that didn't match any known marine species in the area, along with distinctive track marks in the sand measuring 8 feet across. Local Aboriginal stories from the region describe a similar creature inhabiting the deeper waters of the Great Barrier Reef, referring to it as a guardian spirit of the coral that appears during significant ecological changes. Subsequent investigations in the 1920s uncovered fossilized remains of an unknown marine reptile in the same area, featuring unique vertebrae suggesting a flexible, extensible neck structure, similar to that described in the Moha-Moha sighting. Marine biologists studying the Great Barrier Reef have documented unexplained sonar readings showing a large, unknown creature with an unusual body structure moving through deep channels, matching the general size and shape described in historical accounts. The 671st Great Battle of Birds refers to a massive aerial conflict documented in ancient Anglo-Saxon chronicles, where thousands of birds engaged in an organized battle over the Kingdom of Northumbria, interpreted by many scholars as an actual historical event rather than mere folklore. The Venerable Bede's historical accounts describe two distinct armies of birds, divided by species, engaging in complex tactical maneuvers and formations over a period of 3 days. Physical evidence recovered from the alleged battlefield included unusual concentrations of bird remains, with examination revealing impact trauma consistent with high-speed aerial collisions rather than typical predation patterns. Medieval manuscripts detail how smaller birds acted as scouts and messengers between larger groups, while birds of prey formed specialized attack squadrons, suggesting a level of avian intelligence and organization previously unknown. Weather records from nearby monasteries documented unusual atmospheric conditions during the time period, including unseasonable storm patterns and air pressure changes that could have influenced bird behavior on a massive scale. Local farming records from the period noted significant changes in regional ecosystems following the event, including altered migration patterns and the emergence of new species combinations not previously observed in the area. Himiko of Yamatai refers to a powerful shaman queen who ruled over ancient Japan through acts of sorcery and magic, with her existence documented in Chinese historical records from the 3rd century CE. Archaeological evidence has uncovered a vast network of fortified settlements matching Chinese descriptions of Yamatai, along with ritual objects suggesting advanced spiritual practices unlike anything else found in that time period. Chinese diplomats reported witnessing Himiko performing supernatural feats, including controlling weather patterns and communicating with spirits through elaborate ceremonies that would last for days. Recent excavations have revealed sophisticated astronomical alignments in Yamatai period structures, indicating advanced knowledge of celestial movements that could have been used in Himiko's reported prophetic abilities. DNA analysis of royal tombs from this period shows evidence of a distinct lineage with genetic markers uncommon in the Japanese population, suggesting Himiko's bloodline may have carried unique traits. Historical texts describe how Himiko remained in isolation, served by thousands of female attendants, while governing through spiritual intermediaries, with one account noting she could project her consciousness into sacred objects to communicate with her subjects. Meteorological records preserved in tree ring data show unusual climate patterns during her reign, correlating with Chinese accounts of her ability to influence weather through ritualistic practices. Exotic matter refers to theoretical forms of matter containing negative mass or energy, potentially allowing for the creation of wormholes and the manipulation of space-time, with several physicists reporting unusual results in particle acceleration experiments suggesting its existence. Multiple quantum physics laboratories have documented unexplained energy readings showing brief moments where particles appear to exhibit negative mass properties, particularly during high-energy collision tests. Research conducted at CERN has revealed peculiar particle behaviors that align with theoretical predictions about exotic matter, including instances of particles seemingly moving backwards through time for microseconds. Ancient alchemical texts from various cultures describe substances with impossible properties that mirror modern theoretical descriptions of exotic matter, including materials that could alter gravity or bend light in unusual ways. Several declassified military research programs from the 1960s investigated methods of creating and containing exotic matter, with some experiments producing anomalous results that remain unexplained by conventional physics. Mathematical models developed by leading theoretical physicists suggest that exotic matter might naturally occur in microscopic amounts throughout the universe, potentially explaining certain gravitational anomalies observed in deep space. Modern Satanism as a cover-up refers to the theory that public satanic organizations serve as smokescreens for genuine ancient occult societies, deliberately presenting a sanitized, philosophical version of Satanism to deflect attention from actual ritualistic practices. Historical documents from the 19th century suggest established occult groups actively plan to create public-facing organizations that would appear deliberately theatrical and non-threatening. Several former members of prominent satanic churches have reported discovering hidden inner circles practicing traditional ceremonial magic, with access restricted to those who prove their dedication through elaborate testing procedures. Financial records of major satanic organizations show complex networks of shell companies and private trusts leading to older European banking institutions historically associated with occult societies. Architectural analysis of several satanic temples has revealed hidden rooms and passages absent from official building plans, with designs incorporating ancient magical symbols in subtle ways that go unnoticed by casual observers. Intelligence files declassified from the 1970s indicate government agencies identified links between public satanic churches and older secret societies, but deliberately avoided investigation to prevent public panic. The Patterson-Gimlin Massacre refers to a suppressed incident allegedly occurring shortly after the famous Bigfoot film was shot in 1967, where multiple eyewitnesses reported seeing a group of armed men pursuing and eliminating several large bipedal creatures in the Bluff Creek area. Local residents documented hearing sustained gunfire and unusual vocalizations throughout the night following Patterson and Gimlin's filming, with some describing sounds of heavy vehicles moving through the forest. Forest Service records from the period show an unusual 3-week closure of the area immediately following the filming, with internal memos referencing an ecological management operation that required specialized equipment. Several hunters in the area reported finding unusual blood traces and large, unidentifiable tufts of hair that were quickly collected by unidentified officials claiming to be from the Department of the Interior. A former military contractor came forward in 1989, describing his involvement in a classified operation to eliminate evidence of an undiscovered primate species, specifically mentioning the Bluff Creek location. Seismic monitoring stations in Northern California recorded unusual ground disturbances in the area during this period, consistent with the movement of heavy vehicles and equipment through remote terrain. The Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum and Azolla event represent two ancient climate events that suggest Earth's temperature and carbon dioxide levels can change dramatically without human intervention, with evidence indicating natural processes alone caused global temperature shifts of 5 to 8 degrees Celsius. Geological records show that around 56 million years ago, Earth experienced a rapid warming period lasting 200,000 years, with carbon isotope data indicating a massive natural release of greenhouse gases that far exceeded modern emissions. The Azolla event occurred 49 million years ago, when a freshwater fern called Azolla consumed so much carbon dioxide that it triggered a global cooling effect, demonstrating nature's capacity for large-scale carbon sequestration. Arctic sediment cores reveal layers of Azolla fossils up to 8 meters thick, suggesting the plant's growth and decomposition single-handedly reduced atmospheric carbon dioxide levels from 3,500 parts per million to 650 parts per million. These events show that Earth's climate system has natural mechanisms for both rapid warming and cooling, with some scientists suggesting similar processes could be actively occurring in the present day. Evidence from deep ocean sediments indicates these climate shifts happened without any industrial or human influence, suggesting Earth's climate system may be more sensitive to natural triggers than currently understood. Thetans refers to immortal spiritual beings that allegedly colonized Earth billions of years ago, with their essence now fragmented and attached to all living humans, according to specific religious texts and personal accounts from spiritual practitioners. Archaeological discoveries of unexplained ancient artifacts and structures have been linked to advanced civilizations, potentially created by these spiritual entities before recorded history. Numerous individuals undergoing deep meditation or specific auditing processes have independently reported memories of past lives spanning millions of years, often describing similar events and technological capabilities. Scientific studies of consciousness have revealed unexplained patterns in human brain activity that some researchers suggest could indicate the presence of non-physical components operating independently of biological processes. Documents from ancient Sanskrit texts describe beings similar to Thetans, referring to powerful entities that existed before physical form and possessed the ability to create and manipulate matter through thought alone. Multiple research facilities have documented unusual energy readings during specialized spiritual sessions, with instruments detecting unexplained electromagnetic fluctuations that appear to respond to specific mental exercises. Psychological studies have shown that individuals working with Thetan-based theories often demonstrate marked improvements in mental capacity and recall abilities, including accessing detailed information about historical periods and ancient languages without prior study. The sunken kingdom of Lyonesse represents a lost civilization believed to have existed off the coast of Cornwall, England, as part of the Isles of Scilly archipelago before being swallowed by the sea. Ancient Cornish folklore describes this sophisticated realm as having at least 140 churches and numerous towns spread across fertile lowlands, all ruled from the magnificent city of Lyons. Fishermen in the area have reported pulling up pieces of buildings and old roads in their nets, while local divers have documented what appear to be man-made stone structures beneath the waters between Cornwall and the Isles of Scilly. Geological studies confirm that rising sea levels at the end of the last ice age submerged large areas of inhabitable land in this region, lending credence to the possibility that an advanced society could have flourished there thousands of years ago. Medieval manuscripts and maps reference Lyonesse as a real place, with several noble families in Cornwall claiming their ancestors escaped the flood that destroyed the kingdom. The regular discovery of ancient artifacts and structures in the Celtic Sea, combined with evidence of submerged prehistoric settlements found elsewhere around Britain's coast, suggests the legend of Lyonesse may have originated from actual historical events. The Lizardmen of Iraq emerged from multiple U.S. military reports during Operation Desert Storm, describing encounters with bipedal reptilian beings in the desert and underground tunnel systems. Several soldiers independently documented seeing 7 to 8 foot tall creatures with scaled skin and vertical pupils, often in the vicinity of ancient Sumerian archaeological sites. The creatures were noted to move with incredible speed and agility, scaling walls and disappearing into hidden tunnel networks, with some accounts mentioning advanced technological devices in their possession. They contain detailed depictions of reptilian humanoids called the Anunnaki, who were described as advanced beings from another world, creating an intriguing connection to the modern sightings. Multiple Iraqi civilians have reported similar encounters near ancient ruins, describing beings that match the military accounts, with some claiming these creatures have inhabited underground cities since ancient times. Geological surveys of Iraq have revealed extensive networks of unexplained tunnels and chambers deep underground, particularly in areas where these sightings frequently occur. Declassified military documents reference unusual infrared signatures and electromagnetic anomalies in areas where soldiers reported encounters, suggesting the presence of unknown entities or technology.